Hi, Assalamualaikum. Today our group will present about the vectors for video games in mathematics. Okay, vector. Vector is a term which is used in mathematics, engineering and physics. A vector is a quantity that has both magnitude and directions. Some of the examples of vectors include various quantities such as displacement, velocity, force, accelerations and many more. For examples, when you are searching for location through Google Maps by using GPS, it will give us the distance of the journey along with the direction of the journey. In every second, it will be calculate the best possible route and direction by using a lot of vectors. In this situation, we will talk about vectors for video games. Examples for video games is Angry Birds. Angry Birds will build based on the concept of vectors in the games. The speed of the bird is determined based on how far we pull back the bird. Here, speed is a scalar quantity, and the direction we are pointing to release the bird determines the location of the bird where it will hit. Velocity, which is the combination of speed and direction, determines the specific location that the birds will hit. The velocity is a vector quantity, so the game has a lot to do with the vectors. Graphically, vectors are represented with direct line segments. The length of the vector is chosen according to some scale. The length represents the magnitude of the vectors, and the direction of the line segments represent the directions the vector. Let us consider a vector drawn from point A to B. Here, point A is called the origin or base or initial point. The point B is called the head or tip or end point. The distance between the 2 points is the magnitude of the vector. The direction of displacements from A to B refers to the directions of vectors.
In mathematics, a vector is a construct that represents both a direction as well as a magnitude. In game development, it often can be used to describe a change in position and can be added or subtracted to other vectors. You would usually find a vector object as part of some math or physics library. They typically contain one or more components such as x, y, and z. Vectors can be 1D, which contains only x, 2D, that contains x and y, and 3D that contains x, y, and z. Take the 2D vector at the coordinate 3, 3. To understand how this represents a direction, you need only look at the following graph. We all know that it takes 2 points to form a line. So, what is the second point? The missing point is the origin located at the coordinate 0, 0. If we draw a line from the origin at 0, 0 to 3, 3, we get the image from the following graph. As you can see, the introduction of this origin as the second point gives our vector a gyration. But you can also see that the first point, coordinate 3, 3, can be moved or translated closer to the origin or further away from the origin. The distance from the origin is known as the magnitude and is given by the quadratic equation a to the power of 2 plus b power of 2 equals to c power of 2. In this case, 3 power of 2 plus 3 power of 2 equals to c power of 2 and c equals to sqrt bracket 18 equals to 4.24. If we divide each of the components of this vector by 4.24, we can scale the vector back to a point where it has a magnitude of just 1. We will learn in upcoming example how this process of normalizing the vector can be very useful, since this process returns the direction but gives us an ability to scale the vector up or down quickly with simple multiplication by some numeric, as also known scalar value. From the upcoming examples, I am going to assume that your math library uses vector for 2D vector and vector 3 for a 3D vector. There are various differences in naming across libraries and programming language. For example, vector 3, vector 3f, vector 3 point 3f, and similar. Your math library must have some documentation and examples for them. Like any other variable, the vector in your code has a meaning which is up to you. It can be a position, direction, or velocity. Position. A vector represents an offset from your world origin point 0, 0, 0. Direction. Vector looks very much like an arrow pointing in some direction. That is indeed what it can be used for. For example, if you have a vector that points south, you can make all your units go south. A special case of direction vector is a vector of length 1. It is called a normalized vector or normal for short. A velocity vector can describe a movement. In that case, it is a difference in position of a specific amount of time.
Now I'm going to explain how to find out vector A, B and magnitude. Express AB in matrix and Cartesian rotation and vector unit. I'm going to give one example question. There is the A and B, two equation. A is 2, 4 and negative 3. B is 5, negative 2 and 3. Vector, we need to find out AB. So A plus B. When we play a game, that is the Angry Bird game, so we should have a different direction. So we need to, when we need to do equation, so we need to put negative in front of A. So how we calculate means negative 2 plus 5, negative 4 plus negative 2, negative 3 plus 3. So we got 3, negative 6 and 6. Now we're going to do magnitude of AB. First of all, we put square root. After that, 3 power of 2 plus negative 6 power of 2 plus 6 power of 2. So we got 9. After that, we put in matrix way and Cartesian rotation. For matrix way, 3, negative 6 and 6. For Cartesian rotation is we need to put 3i negative 6j plus 6k. Unit vector, how to find out is 3i negative 6j plus 6k division with 9. So we get 1 over 3 I negative 2 over 3 j plus 2 over 3 k.